On Friday, America's biggest bank, JPMorgan Chase, announced new fees on fintech companies. Companies like Venmo, Coinbase, Robinhood will now have to pay new exorbitant fees to access the customer data that customers have decided to share with them so that they can do banking transactions. If you're splitting a check at a restaurant, there will be new fees on those companies. It is being called a tax on innovation and a power grab by some big banks, by Public Policy Solutions. Will Hild said, just in, the big banks are making a desperate move to try to crush competition and preserve their power to debank conservatives. Their latest tactic, effectively charging customers a tax to access their own personal data and provide it to fintech companies. That phrase debanking, you may have heard before. It effectively began with a 2013 Obama-era initiative called Operation Choke Point, where the U.S. Department of Justice investigated banks in the United States and businesses they did with firearm dealers, payday lenders, and other companies, while operating legally, were said to be at a high risk for fraud and money laundering. That changed the lens through which banks defined reputational risk to include political risk, and it allowed banks to deny any access to banking and funding to anyone on the conservative side of the aisle on a number of issues. What began with Second Amendment groups extended to pro-life groups and a number of different conservative organizations. And so as Will Hild is describing there, this debanking trend is now being used by big banks to stifle the banking activities of anyone who uses these financial technology platforms. And we also know a lot of these big banks are run by people who are hostile to cryptocurrency, digital currencies, and things like that. So this will be an interesting issue for Congress and the Trump administration to watch as these big banks attempt to use their power to push out smaller financial technologies that we rely on every day. And we expect the Trump administration to be particularly interested because of their focus on consumer choice and allowing people to use the home appliances they like, the financial technology tools they like, all the different things that make life easier that the Biden administration and other past administrations have attempted to limit. If you like what you're seeing from the 10-Minute Drill, subscribe on YouTube. We have full episodes twice a week and clips every day going through the most important stories you care about.